Jikaze tujikaze jikaze Afrika jikaze tujikaze America tujikaze tujikaze jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Thank you for joining me for another incredible session of the Daily African Proverbs. My name is Simon Javan Okello. I am in Seattle, Washington as we speak. And we are bringing you another edition of the Daily African Proverbs. We are just getting set up. We are going to have a special guest here with me today who is going to, share her perspectives in regards to the topic that we are discussing today. But also, I have three takeaways. I have three takeaways that I'm hoping by the end of our conversation today, you can take home with you. And then, I'm just excited to be here with you all. We do this Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And, we just love coming together and grounding ourselves on African proverbs and African wisdom. And, there's no better way to do it than to start here on Clubhouse and also on YouTube. So thank you to everyone who is tuned in on YouTube. I want to share the link to the YouTube live stream right now so that everybody else who is with us on Clubhouse can join us there. For now, I want to take a second to just welcome Chioma, who is going to be my special guest. Chioma, how are you doing today?
Hi, Simon. I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I am doing well, just waking up, changing the world, one proverb at a time. Yeah, changing the world one proverb at a time. Welcome, Lavender. I see that Dan is here as well, and TL, and I see that Poet is here as well. Feel free to join us on the stage and also take a minute to share the link to this conversation with your friends and family across all social media platforms and also here on Clubhouse. Make sure on Clubhouse you share the link to today's episode of the Daily African Proverbs. And I just pinned the link to the YouTube live stream so that if you are on YouTube, if you're on Clubhouse and you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, this is a great opportunity for you to do that. And if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't subscribed to the channel, this is also a wonderful opportunity for you to do that. So many of you are probably wondering why we are here today and, what are we going to be discussing today? And, we are here to discuss an amazing African proverb. And it says that if you sleep with itching anus, you will definitely wake up with your hands smelling, And I know that some of you are wondering, why is this proverb so disgusting? Or what were these African ancestors thinking about when they created this proverb? And that's why we are going to be dissecting this in very many different ways. We actually have a poem that is inspired by this proverb that we are going to hear today. And also, as I said earlier, we have three takeaways that I'm going to share with you in regards to this proverb. But if you think about this proverb from Nigeria, and you think about its serious meaning, outside of the laughter that you might get when you read it, many of us grew up in situations where sometimes you really had an itchy anus and you had to actually scratch it to feel comfortable. Sometimes, even now, we have a saying that in Luo, kama ili emiguonyo, you just scratch where it's itchy. You don't go and scratch your chest while it's your butt that is itchy. Just scratch the spot that is itchy, But also, when you think about it, this proverb is a warning, It's a warning that, to avoid unnecessary embarrassment of waking up with smelly hands, you should probably address, your itchy anus, And this could mean many things. This could mean many things. The proverb is just complicating a simple situation for us, but it's also simplifying a complicated situation for us. So let's dive in and understand what the 3 takeaways look like. And today's theme of the takeaways is really the importance of good health, because this proverb seems to be warning us about, maybe there is something on our skin that we need to take care of. And if we don't take care of it, it might impact us later on. So the first takeaway here is that good health is important for overall well-being. A lot of the time when something is wrong internally in your body, it's your skin, it's important parts of your body like your anus that will warn you that you need to pay attention to what's going on inside as well. Number 2, good health allows people to live life to the fullest, And then number 3, good health is essential for happiness and success. Those are the takeaways that we came up with. But at a personal note, I also feel that this proverb is warning us that if you don't address your issues soon enough, they're going to impede you from accomplishing some of the goals that you've set in life, For example, in Kenya, I reference Kenya a lot. In Kenya, we have a lot of wealthy people, even though quite a big part of the population are living below poverty line. There are a lot of wealthy people that are now trying to protect their wealth by getting into politics. And one of the things that they're facing is they don't have college degrees. And one of the laws that was passed when this new constitution was being proclaimed was that you can't be a member of parliament if you don't have a 4-year degree. You can't be a governor if you don't have a 4-year degree, or a senator if you don't have a bachelor's degree. And I think a governor, you have to have a master's degree. Anyhow, so people have been buying degrees and people have been investigated for having fake degrees. So, this is a situation where some of these leaders, had itchy annas, but they never really scratched it. They never took care of it. They never did what this proverb is saying, that he who, no, hold on for a second. Yeah, this proverb says that, if you sleep with itching annas, you will definitely wake up with your hands smelling. So we are being warned here. We are being warned here that if we don't take care of what we need to take care of today, tomorrow, they might come back to bite us. So I want to open the floor. We want to now hear from our special guest, who is going to share her own perspectives about this proverb. Chioma. Chioma is an amazing poet, an amazing writer, an amazing creator. And I want to hear what you have to say about this proverb. What is it that came to your mind when I sent it to you?
Hi, Simon. Thank you so much. And just want to say hello to everyone in this space. Just familiar faces. It's just warming to have you all consistently in the space. Y'all kind of feel like family. So yeah, just thank y'all for being here. When you first sent this to me, like I was like, oh wow, I laughed a little bit. It was like very direct. I was just like, this sounds like something somebody would say today. I was like, I wonder when this proverb was made. But when I look at this proverb, some of the things that came to mind was taking care of problems as soon as possible. For me, it says like if you don't like take care of issues now, you're gonna definitely have to deal with the consequences later. And an interesting thing I like about this proverb is like, it says if you go to sleep with an itching anus, you'll definitely wake up with your hands smelling. So to me, like I'm really moved by like this waking up with your hands smelling. So I was like, it won't like this itching anus or your issue won't go away just because you're sleeping like it's still even going to affect you in your sleep. So if you leave things, it'll grow and affect other things. And overall, just like consequences of your inactions. This proverb makes me think of. So, which is also like still consequences of your action. So inaction is also an action. So, yeah, this proverb definitely encourages me and I feel like people to deal with your problems as soon as possible. Yeah, and keep an eye open to your problems.
Yeah, I love
I'm
that.
complete, Simon.
I love that. You can't run away from your problems. You know, your problems will, when you go to sleep, your problems go to sleep with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
They wait for you to rest so that you can deal with them again. So, yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Chioma, before we continue with our conversation, I want to welcome a few of our friends who are joining us on YouTube. Thank you so much. I don't know who is here right now, so I want you to just share in the comments who you are, where you're joining us from, so that we can also give you a proper shout out. But to those who are joining us on Clubhouse, I see Brother Earth. I haven't heard your voice in a while. I hope you're doing well. Rocky, I've seen you a lot, but I haven't heard your voice in a long time. I hope you're also doing well. And also Flamingo, I hope you're doing well, wherever you might be. Feel free to join us on the stage. And to everyone who is listening on Clubhouse, take a minute, make sure you're pinging in 3 to 5 people to join us for this conversation, but also share the link to this conversation here on Clubhouse. I want to see more shares, and also want to see I want to see you guys on stage and contributing your thoughts and perspectives. We value your thoughts and perspectives. So it would be amazing for you to join us. But if you can note, there are a couple of other ways that you can, support this work and be involved. Number one, you can engage with this same content on Instagram. I post this, proverb on Instagram before I come here on YouTube and Clubhouse. And then number two, you can, go to YouTube, where we are going to post the video for today's conversation, and leave your comments there, and also share the link to that video. That's another way of supporting this work that we're doing here diligently. So back to you, Chioma. I know that whenever we connect for the Daily African Proverbs, you always come with a poem that is inspired by the proverb for the day. I wonder if you have something that you prepared for us. Feel free to speak about it and then share it.
Yes, I do. It's actually very short. This one today is a haiku. And just a haiku is a short poem with the first line being 5 syllables, the second 7, and the last 5. So yeah, this is a short one for today. All right, I'll share it. So let me just repeat the proverb again, and then I'll go into the poem. So the proverb is, if you sleep with an itching anus, you will definitely wake up with your hands smelling. In the haiku. Troubles multiply when you let them fester or when you close an eye. And that is all. Thank you, sir.
I love that. Troubles multiply when you
let them fester or when you close an eye.
When you let them fester or when you close an eye. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that reminds me of Bob Marley's one of Bob Marley's songs. He says, "He who fights and runs away lives to fight another day." You can fight, but if you see that things are not going your way, you can run away and come back another day, and you will still have to fight. There's no stopping. The fight is not ending yet.
Yeah. I love your references, Simon.
I think I'm truly becoming wiser. That's why I have a lot of gray hair lately. Anyway, so Chioma, when you think about this proverb, the responses you've given me so far, I want to go back a little further to some of the events over the last week that have been happening around the world. And one of the things that we've been seeing is the death of the Queen and the coronation of a king. And that's the in the British Empire, Queen Elizabeth passed on. And I wanted you to speak to, just your thoughts, seeing how things are evolving, and if you look at the impact that the British Empire had in Africa and in the lives of African people globally, in relation to colonization and slavery, and also as a poet and a creative, what is it that comes to your heart and your mind? How do you feel right now based on everything that the media fed us, but also everything that you probably grasped in researching the answer to this question?
Yeah, for me it was just it's interesting because, if I'm gonna be very honest with you, um, like her passing to me, like I didn't really feel like deeply sad or like very like relieved or cheery. I was just kind of like, okay, kind of, or aloof, if you would say. Like maybe if I was British, I lived in the UK, maybe I'd be more, I don't know, affected. Who knows? But I thought like hearing all the stuff that like came up about it was it was just really interesting to see because I found it just very interesting that like it took like her death to bring up certain discussions. Um, and I'm glad I think some of the discussions are happening. I know one of the things that came up was I know everyone probably heard of the professor, I believe from Carnegie Uju, and her statements. But I know one thing that came up from that was people now talking about like the Biafran War that happened. And I just like looking up and just seeing some of the talks and stuff about it. And it was just like interesting because there's so many different things. And I'm like, it's crazy because no one would be talking about that really, or it wouldn't be anyone's mouths if, this professor Uju didn't um come up and say something like this during the passing of the queen. So it's kind of like I don't know like it's interesting like the power of like one the power of the queen that some of these things aren't necessarily talked about, but also the power of like what happens when someone then like passes, like the things that like come up at that time. And it was just also just interesting just to see how things play out because to me um Uju saying what she did, like it was very bold. It was very timely, very strategic because people are listening to it. You know what I mean? So that was kind of interesting. Like when I think about her death though, it's just weird because like I don't necessarily see it as being some sort of like relief to any of the things that happened in the past or the things that are happening now because like her passing isn't helping any African countries currently, you know what I mean, like that kind of thing. So yeah, I feel like because I think it's important to talk about the past and history and things like that, so I'm glad we are, but it's also important for us to like talk about some of the things that are happening now because I know that the Nigerian president, he had said something in regard to what that professor had said and sort of like defending the queen. And it's just like really interesting because this president isn't really a great president. So it's like, who cares what you have to say when the country is in shambles? Like, why is it when someone from the West, like something happens to someone from the West or whatever, we kind of like care, but like we're not really talking about the issues that are happening like right now and today. So I don't know. It's just interesting to me. Just kind of like hearing the things that are going on. I don't necessarily feel any kind of way. I guess I'm at least happy, I guess, that discussions are happening, but I hope that these discussions like move us forward in some sort of way. And at the end of the day, I don't really think her passing to like, Britons are still gonna Brit. You know what I mean? And it's like, maybe if her passing what happened like way back then during colonization, like maybe in the 50s or 60s, that might have been more of a shaker. But like, hey, she lived to like 90 something. So, I guess maybe it's more symbolic to some or whatever, but that's kind of my feelings with like everything that is going on and some of my thoughts. So, Simon, I'm complete.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you. Yeah, similar to when everyone else passes away, people talk. That's the opportunity for people to talk, even if they are not necessarily mourning. It's an opportunity for people to talk about what just happened. And I really, really love how the internet allowed people to be truthful and honest. And besides the Nigerian president, one of the people that responded to the professor's tweet was Jeff Bezos. And
Oh yeah.
and
Her comeback was crazy. Did you see her?
yeah. Speak about that for a second.
Oh my goodness. Oh no, I don't even want to like I don't want to misword her comeback. Like I would actually like let me see. You might have to give me some time to find it because I want to say it like verbatim her response to him actually.
Yeah. And also there were other people outside of her that
Good
responded.
stuff.
Yeah, responded adequately. But really, for me, the internet is actually allowing colonizers to see that they're being seen. It's really what this proverb is speaking about. The colonizers, when they pretended that they were allowing Africans to run their own countries, they went to bed with itchy anus.
Yeah,
And now
yeah.
they're waking up with smelly fingers.
I know. Come on. So, Simon, I have it. So just Bezos's response to her, um, he said, "This is someone supposedly working to make the world." So wait, let me go back. So Uju's comment was definitely very bold. It said, "I heard the chief monarch of a thieving, raping, genocidal empire is finally dying. May her pain be excruciating." To me personally, I'm like, dang, wow. Jeff Bezos says, "This is someone supposedly working to make the world better. I don't think so. Wow." Response to the professor. And so she responded back. She said, "May everyone you and your merciless greed have harmed in this world remember you as fondly as I remember my colonizers." That's what she said to Bezos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's something. It's something to see all this stuff. But yeah, wow. The internet is something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Anyhow, Chioma, thank you again for being our special guest today. I see Eve and Johnny and Rocky and Brother and Flamingo here with us, and also Low Drag.
oh
Thank
wow,
you.
Johnny.
Yeah,
I
Johnny.
feel like it's been so long.
Yes.
Hi, Johnny.
Yeah. Anyhow, nice to see you all. It's a privilege, to just be in your presence. And I want to ask you, Chioma, to just listen in for the next few minutes. Let's hear what Lavender and Rushi and Stella have to say about this proverb, and also any comments in regards to our conversation today. Just share with us briefly, Lavender, where you're joining us from, what today's proverb mean to you, and if you have any comment, briefly share. And then we'll move on to Rushi and Stella. But for those who are joining us for the first time, take a minute, make sure you follow the African Father in America Club on Clubhouse, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is pinned at the top of the room. I'm live streaming there right now as well, so you can join me there if you have a minute. Lavender, share with us your thoughts.
Hi, Simon. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share and the consistency you've maintained with this room. Chioma, I'm so happy to see you and to hear your voice. Brother, I can't wait for you to come up here and share your thoughts. There's Lavender. I'm speaking from Aspen. My thoughts about today's proverb: if you sleep with itchy anus, you will definitely wake up with your hands smelling. As Shoma said, whenever you keep postponing or if you don't attend to a situation immediately, it will keep on recurring. Same with people. When you let toxic people around you, they'll always come up in different forms in the future. So until you deal with it, then things will change. Thank you so much, Simon.
Yeah, I love how you brought up toxic people around you, and unless you deal with it. Yeah, that's an
I love
important one.
that
Yeah.
too. I love that too. Because this, can I just say something to that? Because this proverb also made me think of if you sleep with dogs, you'll wake up with fleas. So when you said that, Lavender, it made me think of that.
That's great.
Thank you, Shioma, and that fit in like a glove. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Brother Rushi, you are soon going to join the Council of Elders, you know. How are you doing? What are your thoughts today?
Oh man, well you would man, this proverb today. First of all, I read this proverb and the first thing I thought of was there's a guy on Instagram who says you need to wash your ass. That's what he that's what he says. That's what comes to my mind first. Being cleanliness is next to godliness. It's very important to be clean. Also, I think about how advanced as humans we are. However, we forget that uh, the first law of nature is self-preservation. When you think of dogs and you think of the cat species, whether it's a regular house domestic cat or a lion, what do they do all day? They lick their private parts, they lick themselves, they keep themselves clean. Humans, we tend to sometimes forget. Sometimes we only take a shower once a day. But what also I think of is the fact that if you think of one of the most healthiest, I believe, countries in the world, places is probably like France and Europe are among the healthiest places, healthiest people. They're healthier than Americans. And one big difference that I always think of, I really thought about this a lot when I first went to Kenya, is the fact that when you go to Kenya or Africa or places in that region, what do they have in their bathroom? A lot of places have bidets or they have bidet attachments. So when you're done using the bathroom, you can clean yourself properly. The bidet was actually invented, I believe, in Europe somewhere. And toilet paper was, of course, invented in the United States. So I think of that. I think of those things. Those things come to mind when I think of this proverb, just the importance of being clean. Cleanliness is next to godliness. And so that is what I have. Thank you, Simon.
Yeah, you're most welcome. I love that. I love your contribution today as well. Let's hear from Stella briefly. Stella, how are you doing, and where are you joining us from? And also, what are your thoughts on today's proverb from Nigeria?
Hi Simon, hi Chioma. I'm okay. Hello, everyone. This is Stella from Kenya. And today's proverb, when I look at it, it makes me happy, but then again, it makes me sad because uh, it makes me happy. You know, that happiness that you laugh and then the laugh kind of fades away and then you suddenly become sad because you know there's something underlying that you've not sorted out and you really need to sort it out, but you keep pushing it aside. So it makes me sad because it, it kind of speaks about procrastination. And you could find that someone is sick and they keep saying, I'll go to the hospital, I'll go to the hospital, and they don't go. And then finally, by the time they go to the hospital, it's too late and there's nothing that can be done. And that's something that I believe most of us have experienced at one point or another. And again, another example would be someone would have a very brilliant idea of what they want to do to change the world or to change their lives, but they don't do it because they keep procrastinating and they keep saying, I'll do it, I'll do it. And it keeps bothering them, just like the proverb is saying, but they don't do it until maybe they die and the idea dies with them. So that's how the proverb makes me feel. Otherwise, I'm happy to be here today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Stella. I love that too. Thank you for your contributions. I see that Flamingo joined us on the stage. How are you, Flamingo? And what are your thoughts on today's proverb from Nigeria? Where are you joining us from?
Peace and blessings to everyone. I'm joining you from Washington, D.C. This proverb made me laugh the first time I saw it, honestly. And I was kind of speechless for a bit because it's so explicit in its language, you know? To say anus, it's something that's kind of a taboo in a way. And feeling the feeling of itching is a very uncomfortable feeling. So it made me think, even if you're trying to sleep at night, that is not a restful sleep if you're itching all night. So the idea is, to me, the way I see it, when you have an issue and you try to ignore it, it's going to bother you. It's going to interrupt your peace. You're not going to be able to sleep. And even when you sleep, it's going to spread from your anus to your hand. And imagine me being a Muslim, we eat with our hands. Now, your sacred hand is going into a funky area, and you're going to use your hand and spread this issue everywhere unless you take care of it. So it's quite vivid in trying to show the impact of not addressing eminent issues. Not only is it going to interrupt your sleep and your peace, but you're spreading it from your anus to your hand. And if you keep doing that, you're going to spread it. This is why in healthcare we do hand washing, right? Because we don't want to spread disease. But thank you for inviting me to the stage. I'm doing my morning walk. Have a beautiful day.
Oh, nice to hear your voice. It's always a pleasure. You have a nice walk as well. As you are speaking, it reminded me of even COVID, the way during the time that COVID-19 was at the peak of what we all call the pandemic, washing hands was like a religion, you know. And I can't just imagine how you know it would be if you know if we didn't even have water, you know, if we didn't have the ability to stay clean, like Rushi was suggesting. But also the other thing here is what I'm learning and what I see this proverb telling us is that our anus is a very, very important part of our body, but we ignore it a lot of the time. And it's only until it's itchy that we realize that, oh, I have to address this itchiness and I have to go to this place that I don't always go to, and that's why, people can scratch their elbow publicly, but when it's your anus, you have to hide, It's even difficult talking about this, but so we talk about a lot of serious proverbs, but I think it's fun to talk about a proverb that is different like this. So it's just been so wonderful hearing your perspectives. Kesiwa is joining us on YouTube. Thank you so much, Kesiwa, for your continued support. And Kesiwa is saying that the impact of not addressing eminent issues is unmeasurable. And I want to just bring back the microphone to you, Chioma, to share with us your closing remarks and also how our wonderful friends, our listeners, and our viewers can stay connected with you.
Hey, Simon. So, just thank you to everyone who shared. It's just so amazing to just hear the different perspectives that people have and or how they express their thoughts to this. Because I was just even getting more revelations just listening to what you all were saying. Even your last point, Simon, when you said the anus is like a place where we sort of ignore or we don't really address publicly. And now I'm thinking, but like if we don't address it in private, then we're going to have to at some point address it publicly. And it's like, which would you rather? So it had me thinking of that. But so I'm gonna close off with just some of the things that like stuck out to me from everyone. Simon, last point really stuck out to me. And then earlier you also said your problems go to sleep with you. And that hit me. Lavender, you said whenever you keep postponing like an issue, it will keep recurring. And then I just love that you also brought up this idea of that also when you like let toxic people around you, that like you'll keep getting that sort of like toxic people around you. Um, Rushi said, I'm just gonna say it very explicitly, you need to wash your ass. And cleanliness is close to godliness. Stella, you said that this proverb like speaks to procrastination. And Stella, I just really love the angle that you like took to this because this has kind of inspired me a bit. You said, having like a brilliant idea, but you don't do anything with it, or you keep procrastinating, that idea like will keep bothering you. So like hearing it from that perspective was just like, because I have some things to do or some ideas in my mind that keep bothering me. And so that was just definitely encouragement to get on those. And Flamingo, you said, it is not a restful sleep. If we go to sleep with problems, like it's not a restful sleep. You said we'll be itching all night. When you have an issue and you ignore it, it's going to bother you and disrupt your peace. And then not only that, the issue is going to spread to other places. So I just really liked just how you expressed that beautifully. So yeah, those are the points that stuck out to me from everyone. Since we have a little bit of time, I'll just read the haiku one more time, and then I'll let you all know how you all can stay plugged in and just support me as well. All right, so the poem I shared earlier was a haiku in relation to this proverb. So the haiku said, troubles multiply when you let them fester or when you close an eye. And you all can just support me by continuing to support the daily African proverb, continue to support this space. And one way you all can really support me is by supporting my friend right now. So I have a link in my bio on my social media. So it's chioma.sheri. So CHIOMA.SHERI. So in my link tree, I have a GoFundMe campaign to help support my friend as she finishes her last semester in college. She's trying to finish and she just needs a little support along the way. So that's one way you all can really support me right now, is by supporting her. So yes, I am complete. Thank you all for just sharing your wonderful thoughts, and thank you, Simon, always for this space. And you just had some really great perspectives today, Simon. I was like, ooh.
I need more gray hair. I have a few. I have a few on my beards and.
No, Simon, you're wiser. You're getting wiser.
Well, thank you so much. I see that we've also been joined by Sambaza. Thank you for all that you do. If you love podcasting, you should follow Sambaza. And also, Eve is an amazing, creator and entrepreneur, and she hosts amazing conversations on Twitter Spaces. So you should connect with Eve as well. She's in the audience. Today has been wonderful. I really, really thank you, Chioma, and I can't wait for next Wednesday. If you want to see Chioma again, Chioma, we need to get you back on YouTube so that people can see your beautiful face. So I can't wait. I can't wait for us to get back to that. But really, I'm grateful for your talent as well. Every Wednesday, I host Chioma, and she takes these proverbs and turns them into a poem. So if you love poetry, join us every Wednesday, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we are here to dissect these African proverbs and also gain wisdom, but also record an episode of the African Father in America podcast. Today, this is episode 259, yesterday we recorded 258, and over 120,000 downloads so far, and I really, really appreciate you all for that love and support. And also, I have to continue saying this, we are now a 5-star rated podcast on Apple Podcasts. That's no mean feat. So make sure you subscribe to the African Father in America podcast on Apple Podcasts. We would really, really appreciate any kind of support there. But importantly, we are live on YouTube right now. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, the link is at the top of the Clubhouse room. Please take a second before we finish up so that you can subscribe. And if you're just joining us, make sure you leave a comment on today's video on YouTube. Then I will be able to engage with you. And also, if you want to be a guest on the African Father in America podcast, let me know. You can DM me directly on Instagram. My handle is at Okelo Javan, and it's connected to my Clubhouse profile, and you should be able to easily catch it. One thing that we've been doing, my team and I have been doing over the last few months, is turning each episode into a blog post. So we are writing really beautiful blogs that you should also read if you have time. And if you want to catch these blogs, again, you have to go to my Instagram profile. My link tree is there, and you'll be able to go to the Raise Your Consciousness blog. That's the name of our blog. With all those few remarks, again, thank you, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a beautiful
African Father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.